Hi everybody, welcome to this beginner-friendly video on how to register a nonprofit in Minnesota, created by Mission Compass Network. Well, first off, what is a nonprofit? A nonprofit is a corporation formed to serve a public or charitable purpose, not to generate profit for owners, formed under the Minnesota Statutes Chapter 317A and registered with the Minnesota Secretary of State. After registering, you also have to apply for EIN and tax-exempt status if applicable. Now, what is EIN and tax-exempt? Well, EIN stands for Employment Identification Number, and this is applied after registering as a nonprofit and is needed for filing tax, hiring employees, opening bank accounts, and etc. Tax-exempt is applied for after EIN, and this is needed for applying for government grants, deducting tax from donors, and avoiding federal tax. The first step to starting your nonprofit is to determine your clarity and your purpose. So first off, you need to be able to identify these things: what your mission is, who you serve, what you do, and who will lead. This helps you with filing and getting a general direction of what your goals and visions are for your business. Note that if you apply for tax exempt later, your purpose needs to fit IRS categories like charitable, educational, religious, scientific, and similar public benefit purposes. Step 2 is to choose and check your name for your nonprofit. You need to go to this website right here. It's basically the MN Secretary of State website, and you need to search for your name and make sure that it is available, because if it is not available, you will have to choose a new name, because they do require you to have a unique and specific name for your business. Okay, step 3 is to prepare your articles of incorporation. So basically what this is it's a legal document that creates your nonprofit and makes it a public record. So you will have to write it out on a separate document like Google Docs if you're applying for tax exempt later on. If you are not, you just fill in what is given in the website. And this can be a lot of work, so please refer to my articles of incorporation template linked on my website if you need extra support. Okay, so if you are not applying for tax exempt, the 3 things you need are your legal name of your organization, a Minnesota registered office, it has to be a physical address, and the incorporator name and mailing address. And if you are planning to apply for tax exempt later on top of what I just mentioned on the previous slide, you will also have to have a 501c3 purpose clause. What this means is it's a clause where your organization must be organized for a public benefit purpose, such as charitable or educational work. You also need a private inurnment prohibition. This prevents profits from benefiting founders, board members, or private individuals. And you also need a political activity restrictions. This means your organization cannot support or oppose political candidates. And lastly, you need a proper dissolution clause. If the nonprofit closes, its assets must go to another qualified nonprofit or to the government for a public purpose. And I also recommend adding board members, but it's not required. Okay, now we're moving on to filing with the state. So first off, you need to create an account on the Office of Minnesota Secretary of State website. And I would advise you to use your nonprofit email if you have one, because you will be receiving emails through this email about your nonprofit in the future. Okay, next up, you have to scroll down and then you will see this list and click on Nonprofit Domestic. And then this page will appear. Select No if you do not plan to register as a professional form under Chapter 391B. So some examples of an organization that would have to click yes would be like a law or medicine firm or something like that. Usually, nonprofits aren't in this category. Okay, next up, you have to enter the name of the nonprofit organization that you're registering for. And then you have to add incorporator and registered agent information. And what that is the adult who is helping you apply. Okay, now you have to fill in your office address, and this has to be a physical address. This is usually just the address of your house you live in. Next up, you add your mailing address. Now you have to set your duration date as perpetual, or you have to set an expiration date. So usually if you put it as perpetual, that means that your business, you are hoping for it to be long-lasting forever. Now, if you have an expiration date where you want your business to expire, that's when you would have to enter a date. Okay, now here's the optional section of attaching your articles of incorporation and any other documents you wish to attach. Please attach your articles of incorporation if you did write it out on a separate document. Okay, next up, you have to add your delivery information. Then you fill out client reference if necessary. Next up, you are required to enter an email. I recommend using your nonprofit email if you have one, and also checking the little box down below as it tries to prevent junk and spam mail. Okay, then it leads you to this completely optional survey. This is just a survey about your organization, and they use your answers for research purposes. Okay, now you review all the information you have filled in and click submit. Then sign your signature and click submit. Okay, now you have to enter payment information to pay. And it should require you to pay $90. Okay, great. Congratulations. You have completed the registration for your nonprofit. Remember to check your email for confirmation and make sure to save official documents like the certificate of incorporation for future references. Okay, some of your next steps are to apply for EIN and tax exempt status if applicable to your organization, and go to Mission Compass Network's website, and under the resources tab, you will find guides and how-tos for those. Thank you so much for listening to the video. Please feel free to give us an email with any questions about registration or the process or just your nonprofit or business in general. If you would like assistance with registering your organization, we're happy to help. Just reach out. Refer to our website for more resources, guides, and videos. Thank you so much.